Hey family, it's Rooted in Faith, Rising in Freedom. I want to talk to you about something that could save you time, heartbreak, spiritual damage. It's called recognizing the red flags early. If you can spot them early enough, you can save yourself some time, a lot of grief, pain, wasted, time, and a whole amount of shit show altogether. So, let's talk about some of the red flags. Red flags. Constant control. Somebody has to constantly be in your business and constantly trying to tell you what to do, how to do things, and be up, like I said, be up in your business. They don't have no business being up in your business, number one. Okay, their second one is playing mind games. Like, we all have time and energy to play mind games, especially when we're adulting. Like, we don't have enough problems, adulting. You got some adults acting like little children, acting like little kids, playing mind games, disrespect, disguised as honesty. Really, they're just trying to be an a-hole. So, and then you have the manipulative behavior, especially gaslighting. Oh, that's not exactly how it happened. You know that. Maybe you're just overthinking it. That's not how it went. Stuff like that. Then they'll try to isolate you from family and friends, because otherwise, how else can they control you? If you can't go somewhere for support, if you don't have people around you that you used to have, then it's not easy for them to manipulate you or try to control you. So make sure you don't get into that situation. See those signs pretty early on. If you're a person that likes, to be alone already, you're introverted or you're empathic like myself, you can catch other people's energy. You can feel other people's, personal feelings. Then, it's understandable if you like to be on your own, but that doesn't mean you want to feel isolated. At times you want to go out and mingle, just talk to people, go shoot the breeze with your neighbors, or go to lunch with a friend or coworker or whatever. That does not mean that, you have your own safe space you could go to at any time. Then there's verbal abuse. And there's so many of them. They're like underhanded, backhanded remarks and comments. So you know your self-worth. Don't allow that to go on. If that's something like you don't know what to say, then just say, you know what, I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. Or or just set them aside, or get somebody to, mediate, or a referee, just in case it goes down into an MMA fight or something. I'm just joking. No, don't do that. Then there's that love bombing, followed by devaluation. Love bombing is like, oh my goodness, so-and-so is the best at this. And, it's over the top stuff. And it's feels kind of icky. That's love bombing. And then they go back and afterwards just to pop that bubble or the balloon just to bring it down. People like that are it's kind of weird. Then there's a mask wearing. They look and act a certain way in front of a group of people, but behind closed doors, they act another way. You know what I'm talking about. For women, it's in the form of promiscuity. I can't say the word. Promiscuity. They act kind of like a floozy, or they're just they try to assert themselves in a really masculine way. You'll see it. For men, there's the skirt chasers. They go around chasing skirt, or they're ego-driven dominance. They want to be the macho guy. So you'll know. They put on an act or show a front. They overdo things, and you'll see it how they interact with other people. They come across one way, but their actions speak a different way. So you'll know your spirit will be uneasy. You're constantly second guessing yourself. If that's in a relationship or a love situation, that's not love, that's control. And if it's like in a certain situation like work, you'll have coworkers that like hover over you or try to tell you what to do, but you know what you're doing in a work setting or anywhere. Like if you go to church, or there's always going to be that one or two people that are always trying to interject themselves and one up you on your story you just told. Well, that happened to me, and this, I'm like, okay, we're not in a competition here. If you can avoid being in a relationship that has these kind of red flags altogether, that is the best outcome. Great. That's the best route. But if you're already in that circus where you're in a situation where you're in a really predicament with the person that's controlling, they're always gaslighting you, they're manipulative, they're often verbally and sometimes physically abusive, well, this is a time to start planning your exit strategy. And you do not want to verbalize or share this strategy with anybody that you cannot trust. Or if it's going to get back to that person that you're trying to get away from, don't talk to them about it. Keep it to yourself. First and foremost, your safety comes first before anything else. If you're in an abusive situation, get to a safe space. Like I said, don't announce you're leaving, especially if the abuse has ever been physical, because that can escalate things quickly. Abusers often can use control tactics to stop you from leaving, whether that's through threats, manipulation, or guilt. It's all about control. You're not crazy. You're just worn down spiritually, emotionally, mentally. If you don't feel safe, then that means you're not. Don't second guess yourself, and don't let anyone make you feel guilty for wanting to leave. That confusion you feel, that's just a part of the abuse. Reach out, call a friend you trust, contact a local shelter, or seek out community agencies that can help. Again, ask for help. You don't have to do this by yourself. If it's not an abusive situation and it's just a bunch of foolery and it's just, circus, then and you're feeling emotionally drained, maybe it's just gaslighting, or it's a one-sided relationship, or it's not equal give and take on anything. It's like unrequited love. Then listen to your energy. Don't keep pouring into someone or something that's not going to pour back into you. That's not ego, it's self-respect. So be thinking, I'm not chasing anybody. If you don't vibe with me, that's okay, because I'm still good, still grounded, I'm still moving forward. Peace over proving anything every time. Once you detach yourself physically, the emotional detachment begins. And yes, it takes time, but it starts with naming what happened, forgiving yourself for staying as long as you did. Give yourself some grace, Emotional manipulation is trauma, believe it or not. Mental abuse is trauma. That stuff, nobody deserves stuff like that. You're not weak. You are conditioned. Start your healing journey right there once you recognize that. And it starts by getting yourself out of that situation. And don't rush that process. It's just the beginning. You're not alone. And this is not the end. It's just your beginning into a better situation, hopefully. Hopefully you don't get yourself back into that same situation. We all learn through experiences, but we're not meant to repeat the same experience. You are worth the love that doesn't hurt, that gives you exactly what you put in back. Protect your peace, Stay rooted in faith and rise in freedom. We'll talk again.